Hammond shouldn't work. A giant rolling hamster that dives your backline, knocks everyone into the air, builds ultimate in seconds, and somehow escapes every time. But in Overwatch 2, Hammond isn't just a viable hero, he's one of the most fun and skilled expressive heroes in the game. And once you understand how he works, you start to realize no other hero comes close in terms of fun. There are so many reasons which compound that make Wrecking Ball such a unique character, not just in Overwatch, but in hero shooters in general. Reason 1. The movement. Let's get the obvious out of the way. If you're good enough to play Wrecking Ball, you don't just roll through the map, you practically fly through it.
Okay. Power. You try and power and speed solves many things. Yeah.
Despite being a tank, you have the speed on par and even surpasses flankers. A good trick to maximize speed and velocity with Ball is to swing from a high grapple point and to activate Fireball and Fireball through the air, and that does help you traverse the map at breakneck speeds. But it's not just the speed of Ball that's so captivating, it's the complete control of the X and Y axis thanks to how the grapple works. Other flankers often have control of one axis, but have minimal options with the other. Tracer can zip across the map at the x-axis, but struggles with verticality. Genji can climb walls and double jump, but his dash doesn't cover much ground and is on an 8-second cooldown, which does feel like a small eternity in teamfights.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time card.
Since the grapple connects to the wall at an angle, you can swing yourself across the battlefield above and across the enemy team, meaning you have a strong grasp on the X and Y axis. Furthermore, his movement is momentum based, meaning there is a rhythm and flow towards it. His movement is the most complicated of all the heroes, but that difficulty is what makes it so satisfying. Finding the rhythm and momentum does make Ball's movement more satisfying, as high-level Ball gameplay requires keeping the momentum up. More often than not, when you're completely stuck, you'll be flatlining in a few seconds. Reason 2. The freedom of playstyles. Wrecking Ball is a flanker, but thanks to his speed, momentum, movement and health, it gives him more options than any other flanker and most heroes in the game. Unlike other heroes and tanks like Reinhardt, you're not completely tied to your team and you're not as reliant on them for health and support. Compare Wrecking Ball to Reinhardt. Reinhardt's main function is that his shield provides mobile cover for damage heroes, so his utility comes from being able to stop most damage coming to his team, but since he lacks range, he's often reliant on his team to do the most damage.
You don't mean that. You worship me.
Oh yeah? Look what I did to your picture. Look at it. Howdy doodly. Howdy doodly. Howdy.
On the other hand, Ball's speed and control of the Y-axis helps him engage the enemy and backline with relative ease, as Ball can quickly engage and disengage. Furthermore, every fight feels created rather than scripted due to how fast and versatile Ball is. He's a flanker, so naturally you roll through the enemy from the side, but he also has his power driver, meaning he's deadly from the skies. Another thing I like to do when playing the hamster is to chandelier. Use Ball's retract to hang myself above the choke, wait for the enemy to pass it, and...
Gotcha, bitch!
Another thing I like to do as Ball, which can be terrible yet awesome and fun, is to, well...
Let's do this.
Oh my god, he just ran in.
I absolutely yeet myself into the enemy and just hope for the best, and honestly, it sometimes works. Sometimes the sheer surprise of a 2-ton Wrecking Ball getting into your personal space causes the enemy to be in hysterics for a second. They click on you, but if you're fast enough, you can escape, and since you damaged the entire team, you just generated half your ultimate. It's also a fun flanking route to get to the backline healers. You could silently and meticulously roll through the established flank routes, not making a sound, barely seen, and surprise the enemy Baptiste. Or you can fling yourself from Midtown and Hollywood and establish dominance as the Apex Hamster. Reason 3. The disruption. You are the ultimate pest. You don't just kill enemies, you ruin their blood pressure. Stifle any well thought out plans and ruin their blood pressure by simply existing. A simple fireball or power driver can decimate any well thought out plans or ideas they might have had. A Widowmaker who's going to keep distance and pop headshots for most of the match now can't, thanks to you swinging for the fences. Literally, you make them waste their cooldowns on a simple hamster, which if you think about it must be incredibly demoralizing. Overwatch is full of bright and unique characters, soldiers, robots, scientists, so on and so forth, and yet a simple hamster is giving them aneurysms. Ultimately, Wrecking Ball's identity is that of a complete nuisance towards the enemy team. A good ball player is so annoying to the enemy that they have to dedicate time and resources into killing him, but not important enough that they have to dedicate him over the objective. And to compound the points above, you can harass and ruin the player's will to live to not only just one, but the entire team, and that will crank the annoyance meter to 11.
Why? Because I was dying, goddammit!
He is Chaos Incarnate. Whilst he lacks single target damage, this is completely offset by how easy he can damage multiple enemies simultaneously. Him completely disrupting and annoying the enemy's diabolical plans makes him an absolute chaos gremlin. Teams struggle with a good ball as he's too fast and too evasive, so even though he's a tank, the enemy can't get a lock on him. He also does a lot of damage to multiple enemies, and thanks to his fireball and power driver, Ball can put multiple enemies in a bad spot, leaving them vulnerable to your team. Reason 4. High risk, high reward, adrenaline-filled gameplay. Ball is a diver and a flanker, meaning you should primarily focus backline, but that means you're separated from the team. Wrecking Ball engagements are high risk, high reward gameplay as you often have minimal assistance, but you usually target healers, so if they die, the team fight is usually won as the other healers won't have the sustain. It makes the gameplay more intense and frenetic as you constantly ask yourself, do you commit to this enemy you just power drive and keep on shooting, or should I roll away and retreat? It's a balancing act, and a good Wrecking Ball player knows when to commit and knows when to retreat. You should strike when the enemy team and your team are already in the team fight, so the entire team won't click on you. But eagle-eyed tanks and DPS might divert their attention from the main team and onto the ball, making the risk even higher as the entire team is focused on you. Speaking of the entire team, if you've been doing what I've been doing and swinging down the middle, it makes the risks even higher as you have no anonymity, so it's extremely likely the entire team will try to murder you. This only increases the risks and yet the satisfaction you can receive when playing as Ball, as the enemy team is trying to turn you into ash, but with quick thinking you can invade and live to fight another day. But there is a big problem when playing Wrecking Ball. After putting so many hours into Ball, there is something that makes his gameplay from fun, chaotic and engaging to absolutely aneurysm inducing and makes you question all your life choices. Since the entirety of Ball's kit revolves around movement and rolling through the enemy, any form of CC or movement disruption ability absolutely ruins your mojo. Sleep Dart, Fist, Boop, Hack, Trap, Concussion Mine, Flashbang, Coach Gun, Ice Gun, Chain, Whip, Hook, Disruptor, Rock, Concussive Blast. Whilst being moved out of position or stunned sucks when playing any hero, it's 1,000 times worse for Ball due to his massive hitbox. You're constantly in the enemy's face and his kit requires movement. Trust me, the amount of times I've been inches from elimination only for some random BS to ruin my day has had me screaming into the void.
What the fucking hell are you, you great gangly fuck-knuckled twat, greasy-head cuntbag? Fuck you!
Hammond on paper shouldn't be this fun as his movement and kit seem incredibly complicated. His guns aren't the best, it seems like you need a PhD in physics and aerodynamics to figure out his movement, and anything that remotely slows you down is a nightmare. But once you take a little bit of time to learn how the grapple works, he can feel borderline unstoppable due to the combination of speed, multi-target damage, being the ultimate nuisance and yet too evasive to get a lock on. And maybe that's what Blizzard wanted. They gave the most complicated movement to a cute little hamster. This is Zach, not Zach, signing off. Please remember to like, favorite, comment and subscribe.